but we're seeing a Viper come out here
Cool.
from Yangon Galacticos. They are very outside of the Medusa. It does feel like they are
10
very
seconds
magic damage
remaining.
oriented right now. So Viper can be very good. His low HP pool isn't going to be
5
heavily
seconds
punished.
remaining.
Maybe a little bit more his lack of mobility by the Void Spirit a little bit, but I don't know. Like, if I feel like if they could just dodge wherever this Medusa is, doesn't necessarily. I
Radiant
don't necessarily
team
mean
ban.
dodge the lane, but just in terms of their overall gameplay, where they're looking to take fights, I feel like this Viper is
Dire
still
team
going to be
ban.
pretty fine for Yangon.
I like it a lot just because I think now you have a hero that will have a decent lane versus the Undying. So Agi range, you trade really well with Undying. A hero that Earth Spirit can roam into or can come back throughout the later stages and gank. Ember can even come down
10
bottom as
seconds
well.
remaining.
They are lacking ways to take towers, so we're gonna have to see that come
5
out
seconds
when
remaining.
they pick up Powers hero.
Maybe. I mean, you could just go like Dragonlance BKB Agshard on the Viper, and you could be totally fine with that,
Okay, yeah,
right? Like you've got
sure.
that plus little Shredder to be able to deal it, and it becomes very hard to kill the Viper, right? Like you're not dealing magic damage, and when you are, it's going to be reduced by your magic resistance, and you've
Radiant
just got a bunch
team
of
ban.
very efficient stats, and you're able to fight from far away as well. Again, Dragonlance is something that a Viper really wants to be able to try and bully out this Medusa as much as possible. And another one is that Earth Spirit, if Skill A is able to have another really good laning stage, then he's going to get that early vessel again,
10
which
seconds
I just want to say
remaining.
it one more time, very good against the Medusa. You're going to be sitting at 100%
5
HP
seconds
for the
remaining.
majority of these team fights, provided you don't Manta or BKB off the debuff.
Dire team
And because of
pick.
that, it's just going to be dealing more and more damage because it ticks out your mana first. So I really do like Yangon's chances so far. But it could turn around with this last pick coming through, which is well, this could be a Masteros Void Spirit, though. We've seen it in the past,
True. Very true, yeah.
but
10
what else do
seconds
they have that
remaining.
they could potentially go for? I mean, could it be like a Lena or
5
something like that,
seconds
just to give
remaining.
him a better matchup in the laning stage, and then let Void Spirit kind of fulfill that backline diving role?
I think if you pick Lena, yeah, the lane might it might be a little bit more favored for Lena, like probably 60-40. But if you're going for someone that's gonna be a position two, I don't see why you still don't go Storm. So
Hmm.
I
I
do
guess the argument for Lena versus Storm Spirit in terms of it can get ganked by Earth Spirit is the same, right?
yeah.
Like you're in the same boat. Um, maybe just the fact, I don't know,
I
like
th-
it feels really weird.
I think the Viper pick makes this pick really difficult for Motivate because now you have a break and a hero that is just really rough to play
Radiant
against.
team
So they have to
pick.
get a little bit crafty, and they do. So they're
Earthshaker.
gonna go for the Earthshaker hero. I mean, it's a bit. Is it? Do you find that greedy? Like, I feel like this is someone who is gonna take a little bit to come online, and I feel like now you've got really high
10
possibility for
seconds
Yangon to
remaining.
take over that lane. I mean, it's a Lion Earthshaker. That doesn't sound strong at all. Stat 5,
5
great
seconds
position
remaining.
5, and I mean, Howe's got free pickings now on what he wants.
I'm just thinking like this.
Are you
Surely you
Ursa?
can't just go. Well,
Sure.
yeah, Ursa.
You don't take
I mean, even
towers.
just well, yeah, but you could just go like Diffusal Ursa, and it's fine
Yeah,
as
I'm a
well, right?
huge
Like,
fan of that versus so yeah.
hmm. But I was even thinking like having Viper pos one against the Shaker. Like, what can Shaker do to farm? You're just going to get bullied out of the lane as well.
You're on a bit of a timer then if you do that. Like your motivator such a strong team at the late game and with the Deucer, so
But
you
what if you
have
like
to.
it or something?
Anti-mage.
Choose your hero.
How the hell did that slip through my mind? I mean, it's a goddamn 3 a.m. game. I know you're
Is it?
just you far out. You are quite the AM hater. Like I don't think I've ever come across someone who absolutely despises anti-mage as much as you do.
I don't like do nothing heroes, but is it like a free anti-mage game? I know it's good against the Deucer, right? But you've got multiple ways to lock down that don't need to be targeted. The Fisher counterspell isn't going to stop that. Aether Remnant counterspell is not going to stop that. And even if you do counterspell before them, you've got the Hex, you've got the Fisher, and then you've got the burst damage to be able to follow that up.
I think he's gonna have a really good lane though. Like you have to
10
play a
seconds
hero
remaining.
with a passive against AM, and Earthshaker's got a
5
passive, but you
seconds
need to use
remaining.
spells, so it doesn't really work in your favor. I think
Yep.
they're gonna get a lot of kills in that lane. In fact, for Yangon, and You might actually have to do aggro. I don't think. But then MG.Trust is versus a Viper. Like, what the hell does he get out of that lane? I don't know. I'm a huge fan of the AM. You're definitely right. There's ways to kill him, but I think he's going to have a really good lane, which will mean he's going to get a faster Battle Fury timing. He's got heroes to make a lot of space across the map, and Motivate have to. Like, okay, so Fearless needs to be having a lot of damage early to snowball to blow up AM. You're going to need a great blink timing from Earthshaker, which you won't get because the lane's going to be rough. And Set Zero is going to have a slow blink as well. So, like,
let's just go over it lane by lane, basically.
Yep.
Young PH should beat Fearless because Ember Spirit is better than Void Spirit.
It's like
Plus,
60-40.
You've also got Skill A rotating. Yeah. Plus, you've also got Earth Spirit rotating. You don't get that same level of rotation coming through from the likes of Set Zero. And even if you did, you've got the potential for the Sleight of Fist to be able to dodge out. You've got a little bit more of that magic damage protection as well with a Flame Guard. You've got a Viper who's going to be bullying out this Undying or the Deucer. Well, probably not bullying the Deucer, but can bully the Undying so that the right-click threat isn't quite as much there. And then you've got that top lane, of course, like you mentioned, the Anti-mage is... bottom lane. The Anti-mage is favorable against the Earthshaker because even though you've got a passive, it's not like the Slardar where you're always going to get that Bash of the Deep off. You actually want to be at 0 mana because you take less damage from the Harass from the mana break. But... yeah, overall, I do like Yangon's draft. I am still an Anti-mage hater, but I have to go with them. I feel like they've got it. They're going to be feeling their mojo a little bit based off of the last game.
Wait, say that again?
That's with a condition.
Hang on.
You gotta make sure you sentry up those goddamn camps. Do not let Fearless move into the small camp and be able to stack it up and take it with the use of the Dissimulate, even the hard camp. And around 10 minutes or so, when you're looking to have taken that top tower and Jackie rotates back to the jungle, don't let him have a 3 or 4 stack waiting for him.
So let me get that right. You just predicted the AM draft.
I predicted not the Earthshaker draft.
So it's the Earthshaker that's throwing you off, is it?
Yes. It is a good anti-mage game. It's not a great one. It's a good anti-mage game.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Again, I 100% in agreement that you need to block up Deuce's camps. I think we might not see as many stacks for her, unfortunately, because of this bottom lane. I don't think... I mean, do you actually... Because Lion... Actually, I don't really know how Lion wants to play this lane. I think early on, you've just got to use all your spells and try and harass Howl out through the early levels, like level 1, level 2. And then maybe he can get a bit of a window for a couple times to pull by the water rune timing. But regardless, I don't care. I want to see Yangon block those camps up. You just have to put more emphasis on Jackie's Deucer. They left him completely free farming in game 1, and that was a big issue for both of us, and a big reason of why they lost that game. So we'll see if Yangon have kind of switched themselves around, at least with the recognition of how to deal with Deucer.
Set Zero, he's not going to be walking around on his own this time. He's got the rest of the boys backing up. Some pretty decent level 1 team fight here for Motivate.Trust. If they were to catch out anyone, might look to get one of these unorthodox observer wards on the back lines. And if they're able to get in on top of Lund, but he's got his positioning quite good here. Oh, don't think they spotted out him placing that obs down.
No, they didn't.
And they haven't blocked up the camp either. Otherwise, they would just obviously get dewarded, and you would get the double value.
Oh, don't do it.
Walking back. Oops, Zorain.
No. It looked like he was aware. He's still gonna die. I mean, he was like kind of back and forth, just kind of baiting him. But well, hate to see it. Gonna be 2 for 1 at the moment. There's still 1 on the high ground that hasn't gone to claim. So who got the first blood? It is Fearless. Well, that's gonna make at least the matchup a little. It evens
out that mid lane
a little bit more bearable.
That plus the fact that I mean, I don't like the fact that Lund's going into this or Urn and eventually the Spirit Vessel. I really want it to be skill A building it. You need to be much more of that standard right-clicking threat that's actually going to take towers on this Viper, and Urn Vessel doesn't help you do that.
Oh, they're starting with 3 up top. I love this. Viper, very, very weak through the early stages. And every odd level, your power grows with the extra point in poison attack. I mean, they are well aware of this, though, with no one showing down boss. You see just straight away, they're going to look to try and pull the wave. I mean, they don't have the highest kill threat trio at the moment, so looks like Lun will be okay. In fact, Q's going to take a lot of damage here. Yeah, he's got boots, but he's just going to give away a kill, so screw your tri lane. Just give over a free kill for me, brother. Thank you very much.
Very nicely done. Able to make that rotation through with the help of the Observer Ward. And
oh, the creep.
Oh. Gonna claim it.
No, it went
He's like, take the creep, bro.
They're coming back. I mean, I guess MG.Trust is... Okay, so I have to imagine he just double fished the lane. And I love how they've already preemptively... it looks like I thought Zorian preemptively dropped sentries by the small camp, but it doesn't look like they blocked it, so... I guess MG.Trust early on will be okay because of the fissure block, but now that you've reset the equilibrium, how should free farm?
It's not even reset that much, though. This is the worst small camp in the entire game for trying to reset all of that, just because the kobolds are so weak. Might even end up giving MG.Trust over the range creep, which he does. So level 3 on MG.Trust now.
Seems like the side lanes are a bit of a wash. It's now mid where the question's going to be.
He's at least got his Soul Ring now, so you do have some sort of potential to be able to, you know, secure these range creeps, pull the wave a little bit. So good positioning here by Zorain to make sure that that doesn't happen. Just wanting to make sure he's pulling the wave as much to the left as he can. We got a little bit of a dive here happening on the top side. Skill A and Q just looking to position
Who's
around each other.
Text to block the roll. Lun's still stacking up the poison. They're going to try and focus down Setsuru. Can he get in time for the Ancients deny? Ooh, okay. Nicely done.
But it is space for Jackie.
Yes, sir.
He is sitting up, just farming underneath the tower. Totally cool with how everything's going down. And well, this is only a level 2 Viper now. So despite the fact that it was a tri-lane, the fact that Jackie still has that experience advantage, I think Motivate are fine with all this. Q just coming back towards the top side. Anytime you've got the tri-lane, I mean, if you're level 2, you're just going to have more of those units to potentially use for the soul rip, so plenty of save, plenty of damage as well. And that is the urn completed now for Lun, so have to be a little bit more careful with their positioning coming through, as Q just looking to juke his way through the trees a little bit, trying to make the escape. Couple of seconds left until the roll. Will they be able to catch him?
Nicely played, Skill A. Just gonna look for a TP out there, recognizing there's nowhere to cancel, and looks like we have the tri-lane up top now. Crumbling for Motivator. Setsuru, he TP'd mid, refilled the bottle, and is now gonna look to join MG.Trust down bottom. I really don't think the Lion actually gives MG.Trust any easier of a time to play this lane, so might just keep roaming around.
I'm really surprised by how much Fearless has gotten out of this lane as well. Like, I know he got the first blood, but he still has a, at the time he had a 5 creep advantage. Have to be still a little bit careful of young PH there with the points into the Flame Guard.
Oh, they place a cookie. Cookie roll as well.
And they also missed giving the Water Rune over to Fearless. He at least has a couple of bounties waiting for him, so that's a nice plus. But yeah, the fact that he has all 5 denies in that mid lane, plus a last hit advantage as well, just goes to show how good of a player Fearless can be. Oh, wastes the cookie as well. This should be a dead Zorain.
Gives away the ward placement. He just ran up the high ground and just placed some Ascension and Obs, so should be a very easy D-ward. And we're saying that there's no real lane at the moment here for the Lion, and that he was more than likely just going to keep roaming across the map, and it's at least nice that he gets some involvement across it.
I mean, yeah, the fact that he is level 2, though, does hurt their roaming chances a lot. You know, you're against the... you've got this Earthshaker and Medusa on your lineup that want to be passive. I feel like the one area that, you might be able to make players around is this bottom lane, but it's so hard to kill how. You know, you've got the 1 point in the counter spell just for that little bit of an extra defense potential. And MG.Trust, he doesn't have the mana to leave the lane, let alone himself.
Fearless, an early rotation. They'll miss the Remnant, unfortunately. This is a deep dive attempt, but it looks like with the Mystic Snake, Jackie's been getting a lot of solo experience from the supports just zoning out the cores, but bottom lane, Yangon look to get some of their own revenge as well, as Hao will also pick up his first kill.
Drops the mana void for it. Set0 wasn't part of that, and what I was talking about before with the tri lane was that you do need this lion to be level 6. You need to make sure that you've got that Finger of Death to enable these rotations through. It's not enough just to have the Void Spirit and an Undying. You know, you need the pure damage that only a lion can provide.
And I think they need the blinks coming out as fast as possible here on every hero they can get it on. Just to, you know, maybe be able to burst Hao down while he's split pushing out the map before he's really beefy. So it's definitely going to take some time.
Here. It's got the Sentry Ward placed down though, so Set0 has to be careful with his positioning. Doesn't want to walk too far forward before he needs to. Couple of seconds left on that Invis rune.
All right, they're going to see him now.
Go now.
Skirmishes needs to do as much work as possible to keep the Viper alive, and well, that's exactly what you're hoping for. Very nicely done. Skirmishes, we saw how incredible he is on the Earth Spirit in our second game, and now already having a pretty solid performance as well.
So is Hao though. I mean, look at that net worth. He is 1,000 gold away, 1,100 gold away from the fully completed Battle Fury. Just realizing that there is no kill threat in this lane because you're up against the Earthshaker. He's just gone completely naked, Battle Fury.
Wait, Lund actually just went back to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jackie,
he hasn't got a single kill since picking up that urn.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten any value out of it. Like, you need to be...
Echo Slam, drop bottom is... Jesus Christ, Masaros. He'll take
anything he can.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so surprised how many last hits he's gotten as well. I mean, just playing beautifully around Soul Ring and just, you know, at least getting some form of last hit whenever he can just enchant totem. I like it. I mean, Bassi, Raindrop, he's just kind of playing outskirts, you know, pops the enchant totem, goes to try and kill one of the creeps. And when he even got enough mana for Fissure, see what he's doing, just blocking off his own creeps as well. But yeah, exactly like you said though, Hao is just free farming, so close to Battle Fury already. You know, meanwhile, Fearless mid lane actually is in trouble. Young.Ph going for a solo kill, slide back up in a couple of seconds. The team play from Motivate coming in the nick of timing. Is Young.Ph gonna need his own assistance? Doreen will show up in the nick of time to get him out to safety. And Fearless is still sticking around. He's able to pick up a rune. So a little bit more resources to play with.
Have to be careful here. You got the Flame Remnant waiting next to the tower, so Young.Ph is going to do his best to try and get back to the lane as quickly as possible once he refills that bottle. Maybe try and punish them as they go for this D-Ward here. Silence coming through. Does he catch Fearless? One more Remnant available, but won't be able to catch. But yeah, again, Urn does not help with farming. Urn does not help with pushing. He's going into the ATOS, which is alright. You know, it gives you that little bit of extra tank potential. It's very efficient for the cost. Well, he's just going to end up dropping the Viper Strike, revealing the fact that they've got this Observer Ward on the top side. But I feel like considering how badly the lane has gone for Lund with a strong laner, it's something that you're happy to do.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to see Young.Ph more than likely start to play with the Viper, though. Because he's still relatively strong, but he needs a hero also to help jump and, you know, put some chaos on the map. So, would like to see the Ember soon trying to combine up. They're actually still looking to defend top. As TP's up here, Fearless along with Q. Does have Skill A nearby. And close to the T1 tower as well. And here comes Young.Ph. Can Lund stay alive long enough for the rotation? Soul Rip, yes, that'll bring him down. What's the price to pay, however? Fearless tries to use that last Astral Scepter save to, but meanwhile, Q's still standing his ground. He's got the Tombstone on the outskirts. Still feels really strong with his second level, and yeah, Young.Ph can't continue chasing. No resources for him. One more slide and a right click, but he gets the bonus health back, and now with the tower, extra attribute. Q is duking a jive and trying to go through the trees, but Young.Ph sniffs him out.
He's spending a lot of time up here, though. Doesn't have TP scroll. Is going to have to run all the way back to base. Eventually gets a couple of clarities delivered through onto him, but, I mean, they should realize that he doesn't have this TP available, especially around this mid-creep wave. You know, Lund's doing his best with the Nether Toxin to start pushing this lane out a little bit, but it's approaching this point where Set0, I believe he's got the Tome coming out to him. He's trying to soak up a little bit of that mid-experience. I think he might just be short of picking up the level 6. Yeah, one
True.
One experience?
Two.
Two experience away.
All right, so MG.Trust, an exceptional blink timing, and also Jackie is really skyrocketed his net worth. They did block up the Ancients, but it was recently, it was just recently dewarded, and they got some stacks down afterwards. And gotta be cautious. This blink reveal could be huge. Young PH can he sniff it out? He's still got a lot of reduction here with the Flame Guard, but the control is perfect. And this Ember, first death of the game here. What a reveal you're hoping for from Masteros. And looks like Zorain the next on the agenda. But they're actually not going to close the distance.
Just some great individual play coming out from that lane from Masteros. There is no way imaginable that he should be third, fourth on net worth right now, like even remotely close to anyone. But, you know, as you said before, clever itemization, playing with the Fissure to disrupt the equilibrium. They're making a bit of a play on this mid lane, and they'll catch out Set Zero before he's able to drop the Finger of Death.
Deliver thee unto death.
Looks like they want to continue the pressure forward here. If I'm Hao, I want to try as much as I can to try and invade the enemy side of the map. Again, you're against a Deucer lineup. They're going to be putting stacks up. You've got to try and steal them away if you can.
Definitely feels like the AM wants to play with a lot more map control as well. Just cutting waves before these blinks are picked up. I mean, just find Battle Fury, so it's still going to take some time where he feels safe to do so. But, I mean, this is 12 minutes in. Either team haven't taken an objective. It doesn't really feel like they have much opportunity to do so, I suppose.
Kindred bounty.
Just the recipe component away from the rob of Atos as well for Lun. So, I mean, it's going to help them a little bit, particularly with, you know, the likes of the Snapfire, just keeping them in place as well for the Earth Spirit to really maximize his damage that he's able to do with the Magnetize. But it also feels a little bit awkward, right? Like they haven't taken any towers just yet.
They run into Hao.
Jackie's bait.
They're gonna pop the smoke, and Hao just in the nick of time out the safety. Once again, close to the tier 1 tower, but I don't think it's gonna matter as Lun just gets ripped apart. The paper plane that the Viper is. And the Mortimer kisses as well. There's no follow-up afterwards, so it might get rid of Set Zero. Enough healing coming back from the wand. This is just all dire at the moment. They're playing exceptionally well with a macro game across the map. 3,000 net worth lead. And it's just really not looking like it's going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, Jackie's Deuce has just been able to do whatever he wants, and that's not what you want. I feel like they haven't learned their lesson from game number 1. You know, the exact same thing is happening as what previously occurred. And yeah, I just feel like this Viper got nowhere near enough done in the laning stage. 4 deaths. Again, just even with the boots, 320 movement speed, barely more than a lot of these heroes have base, and still only sitting at 1200 HP as well. Just leaves him incredibly vulnerable. And he's trying to take farm that someone like Young PH needs as well, because without that Maelstrom, you don't have the burst potential to pick off these targets quickly enough. Like, the Undying's going to be there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's a Manta completed as well by Jackie, 14 minutes in.
Again, the numbers top. Q's just going to drop the Tombstone straight away when he sees the heroes. They actually want to take the fight. Someone's going to kill the Tombstone. They'll be able to do so, but the counter initiation. Masteros again, over the top of the Acro Slam, landing on both heroes. They haven't brought them down just yet till Set Zero will follow up. He gets the control, also locking on top of Lun. My god, Masteros. 2 Echo Slams in a row. That has given them so much impact in this game.
And they're still retaining this top tower. So even though, you know, Jackie's playing around the ancient camp and even pushing in the mid tier 1 tower, they don't have the luxury of just being able to walk up there and get it, because that means someone else is going to be safely farming on this top side of the map. They haven't restricted where Motivate are going to be.
They're going to make an attempt top here. Magnetize along with the Mana Void soon to come. It's only level 1, but that's all they need. And Young PH can look to get involved as well. So now with the ultimates on cooldown and recognizing the TPs were used previously, they can now overflow their heroes directly on Motivate. And that's the first tower for Yangon.
Absolutely necessary that they made that happen. You know, you were able to take out, again, a lot of this map control. They're going to try and continue forward with Skill A, trying to get the kill onto Set Zero.
Nice cookie. Another kill soon to be picked up. Well, they have to drop Mortimer for it. Maybe a little bit unnecessary. But he'll just gobble up some creeps. Yeah. Good old farming Mortimer. If they can get mid off this, it's actually pretty huge.
Dire's structures are fortified.
See the
I feel
recognition.
like yeah, I mean, you don't want to buy
Radiant's
back on
bottom
set 0
tower
just
is
yet,
under
but
attack.
maybe let's stall it out long enough. I mean, they're
Cool.
just trying to disrupt a little bit here.
Just get out. Leave Pearl Zorain.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Alright, well.
Jackie farming away.
Yeah.
He's going into that butterfly. I like it. You know, you're going to be able to dodge out a lot of the poison attacks. You're going to be able to dodge out, of course. Anti-mage trying to burn your mana a little bit. He doesn't really want to go into an
Radiant's
MKB
bottom
on
tower
how.
is under
So,
attack.
yeah, great item as a second one.
Radiant structures are fortified.
They're making an attempt here. Astros might be able to keep them alive with fissure. In fact, haste is enough. Also, how they're setting up top. TPs are coming out. Oh, nicely played. Fast enough with the fingers, and how's out to safety.
And maybe just a little bit too ambitious with that TP there
Radiant's
on Jackie,
bottom tower
revealing
is under attack.
the movements coming through. So always wants to be playing a little bit carefully, although how he knows they're coming here. Might even look for a bit of a counter play, maybe blink in onto set 0. He might want someone else backing him up.
Dire's
What's happening in
middle
mid lane
tower
though?
is under
And they'll
attack.
just take that tower.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Just look at the net worth disparison though. Like the position one's so far ahead, and then everyone else a couple grand behind.
Radiant's top tower
Sirius
is
just
under
had a
attack.
game where they can farm to an oblivion. Yours might set up for Skill Aid's role. He'll lead him with the stance. They're going to be cautious because Q Sorup's level 3. The healing's not enough this time. That's a big kill to find. They're going to be cautious. Mastros once again. This Echo Slam. Someone give him the tips. Mastros is just winning these fights left, right, and center. So they got the Motivate kisses. Emma's going to look to buyback as well. They're incredibly weak. The cleanup crew has now arrived, but you need more out of this buyback. They'll get the one kill with the backline as well. Earth Spirit's continuing to dive deeper and deeper inside the territory here, but there's no more remnants now available for young PH. This was a heavy commitment to rejoin the fray, and if he dies, I mean, it might just give him no game to play with now.
There's the dieback. If did he end up even getting any of those kills? He just got the one on set 0. You know, it was part, of course, of a few of the other ones, but yeah, definitely not worth it. And just underappreciating the strength that an Undying has at that late stage of the team fight. You know, the Flesh Golem, a single right click just buffs up the Medusa's damage so much. Actually making a bit of an attempt here onto Jackie, burning through his mana quite effectively, actually.
They got 2 points in mana void. This is a big pick if they can find. Jackie being top of the net worth, they're still stalking him down. What a counterspell from Hal, but Jackie, he's baited them too far deep. Tombstone dropping the choke point. Jackie's going to look to turn. It just rips apart the Snapfire.
Dire's courier has been killed.
It does show that they
body
have...
block.
Masteros, nicely played. Cancels the roll away. Skill late. Another death added up here. I look at that
Astros
as...
is playing insane this game, man. Like, he blocked the roll away and then just had the presence of mind to stop his chain lockdown, realizing that, you know, you're up against an Earth Spirit with 4 points in the Rolling Boulder. It's just a 4-second cooldown. They were out of the majority of their stuns at that stage and made sure he got that chain lockdown so that they could end up killing him. He has no right having this amount of farm. He's picked up a BKB after this camp.
You're going nowhere.
And how's Echo back up? I swear he just used it recently and just absolutely wiped the floor. I really feel like, I mean, the fact that you now have no game from young PH is, I won't say no game, it's very difficult for him to have the impact you were looking for, because the Ember could do so much to cancel the blink from the Earthshaker, to jump the line and make sure he doesn't have a fight where he can, you know, perfectly spellcast, but young PH needs items, you know, he needs BKB, he needs the Ags.
They're considering it. Fearless is chasing him up a little bit here. Won't end up catching him in the end. Actually ends up being a regen rune on the bottom side of the map. I'm sure Fearless is very happy to claim that one.
Bottom tower has fallen.
And even though...
That tower claimed they're taking away more of their map control. Double
just
smoke
double smoked,
used
yeah.
there. Underneath the ward as well. Very good.
Radiant, they're still posturing
Dire's top
around the
tower is
area.
under attack.
You gotta be cautious of Mastros. You cannot group up for the Echo Slam. Time and time again, it's been the big factor of how they've been able to win these fights. Looks like they won't need it this time. They'll just split their attention, kill off the Viper, kill off the Snapfire. There is always a huge window for the Medusa against the Anti-mage at this stage in the game. I mean, 2 items for the Deucer compared to 2 items on the Anti-mage allows you to group up, and I mean, how can only result to split pushing, but he's got to be cautious. MG.Trust, he might just drop the Echo Slam. Set Zero nearby. He's also got the extra control as well. They need some assistance. Skill what a silence. Just drops off towards Fearless, but it might not be enough to keep the Anti-mage alive, as how somehow 1 blink away. Oh my god, he's still up. Strength Shred saving lives. What a play from the rest of Yangon. But it might just cost Young PH. I mean, he's committed in. Once again, Skillet's going to try and do whatever he can with the silence, but they'll lose out of the Ember.
Does delay the Roche a little bit, but having used the Mortimer's Kisses, it always does feel a little bit awkward. I feel like this is the sort of engagement that if Hao was able to come to it, he also had the Strength of Embrace as well to dodge out a lot of that damage coming out onto him, but unfortunately he TP'd all the way back, went towards the bottom side of the lane, just wanted to accelerate his farm. It's around that 3 or 4 item timing that the Anti-mage really starts to be able to contend into the Medusa in a one-on-one fight.
Yeah. And we saw for quite some time when the Rapier had the True Strike that Deuces were just going for it like 3rd item. A lot of time, more specifically versus the Anti-mage matchup. You just get Aegis, Rapier, walk down the lane, because you don't need that farming item like the Battle Fury on the Anti-mage, so you will always be a little bit more higher up in the net worth, and Hao's going to be cautious. And Set Zero is going to look to reveal his blink, but Skill 8 is trying to stop any extra stun lock, and it looks like it once again will keep Hao alive.
Well, they were going for a kill for anyone that might have tried to TP back and overwhelm them with their strength, considering they did still have the Mana Void available. But Skill 8 still fulfilling his job. It's not quite as flashy as a support, but protects his Anti-mage, keeps the hope alive for Yangon.
I guess is a big reason of why you're a bit of an Anti-mage hater. Just a hero that doesn't really do a whole lot. You're now behind and you have to resort to split pushing. You can't force fights, and it makes the rest of the map really awkward for your team, as now high ground about to be under siege.
Just got this 4-staff available on the Viper
and they're
as
gonna,
well.
Yeah, catch him out again.
He's just not tanky.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The man is not tanky.
Jackie's level 20. BKB Aegis. This is a full set of barracks. There is no way you go through first life on Jackie. Okay, there's no way you kill him twice. I refuse to put Masaros. Okay, force to pop the BKB.
He was trying to interrupt the Mortimer's Kisses, wasn't completely on point, but they still end up dropping the tombstone. This should, again, just still be that free lane of Rax.
I mean, and Hao's back as well. Like, he needs to be farming. Like, you need this Skadi if you're going to show up to fights, and they know where he is as well. Oh, I don't know.
I feel like they had the tools to be able to take this game, but their execution just hasn't been there, you know? The Viper not skilling, at least how I feel he possibly should have. Rotations like that from the Anti-mage not blocking up the ancient camps, it's probably going to end up costing them.
Full set of barracks now claimed. The 2 minutes 20 with the Aegis. I mean, that's about a minute that Hao wasn't farming as well. I mean, that's all you got to do. Just farm. You have to be content with giving up that full set of barracks. We just see it so often on Anti-mage. It literally feels like that is the storyline whenever this hero is picked up. There's at a stage of a game where you will be giving up a set of barracks for free. I
mean, every single person that's played Dota has had a game where they've got an Anti-mage on their team. They just farm. You're 2 racks down. He farms. He finally joins his fight.
Well, Fearless isn't mid. You got to kite the Medusa. Just deal with everyone else. Avoid Jackie. That's an early BKB, but no one jumps the backline. And the reason is because Young PH hasn't got a game. No BKB. He can't help and follow up on the Lion and the Earthshaker. And now you're back to just watching heroes take towers.
Yeah, and Setzero's positioning has been great. He's also got that Blink Dagger to be able to, you know, just play a little bit safer, you know, off inside the trees, make it so that you don't get that easy kind of initiate on the Ember Spirit, even if you had the BKB, right? Like, he's going to spend time looking as opposed to spending time killing or just, you know, isolating crowd control.
Is under attack.
How long's left on that Aegis? A full minute still, wow.
Catapult wave 2. Get usage out of it. And that they will. They even get a pick off for their aims, and even Viper as well, make it a second one. My god, this is a beatdown. I mean, Lund somehow escapes. She'll buy it back, and I mean, Howard's going to somehow get involved. 40 seconds left on the Ages, but Tombstone in the middle of the fight. So how do you actually move into this with the area control that Dire have? I mean, Skirmishes just ripped apart.
He's just watching right now. No one's using mana. They don't use mana unless they absolutely need to. They're not worried about poking and prodding. They're not worried about dealing damage to heroes unless it's a guaranteed kill. They just want to make sure that they get the objective that they're here for, which is that Rax. 25 seconds left on the Aegis. And
You can't
they might even
commit.
look to back off. I think they might even back off in this. Like, Jackie's running a little low on mana right now.
You can't. Oh, Masteros actually blinked in. What a mana void, Jackie. 10 seconds. Still hold it. Stall. Just wait and wait. But BKB at the ready. They're going to smoke up
Counting
and
it
continue
down.
to stalk. They've got a great ward in the backline. This actually could be a huge wage for them to bring
again.
back into the fight. But the BKB, what a
just gone.
fissure as well. They'll turn it back in their favor. An Echo drop straight on top of the head of Hal. There's no opportunity for them to take this team fight. And it looks like the game is just slipping further and further out of their grasp as Yangon Galacticos down 4. They buy back on the Ember, but looks like they're going to have to make a trip down to the lower bracket as Motivate. What a exceptional Game 3 performance.
Man, it's like one of my pubs. Anti-mage spends 27 minutes farming, turns up to one fight, dies, and then the game is over. This is why I don't like the hero. This is why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I genuinely feel like I just get baited by AM too much. I'm like, hey, whoa, hang on, this looks great. They're all high mana heroes, but they've just done an exceptional job for Motivate. Like, this is a stellar performance for them to be able to recover from Game 2. Ember picked off down bot. Yeah.
That's a
Just
dieback?
will always fall.
He's dead for a long time.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was. He bought back previously.
Oh,
I feel it.
it does feel a little anticlimactic, to be
It
honest,
does.
right?
It does.
We have to highlight Masteros. Like, he,
Oh, yeah.
in my opinion, is the reason that they are in this position. Just so many clutch echo slams, getting way too much out of that lane than he had,
Fearless.
that he should have been able to.
He's gonna make one more last attempt just to put them all in the grave. Power's up in a couple of seconds, but they're just losing too many numbers. Heroes without buybacks, objectives falling, throne now exposed. One last desperation attempt.
They've still almost all got full mana. Like, Q's kind of
Well,
low.
target Masteros, but he gets a BKB before the roll connects. A fissure landing on everyone. Oh my god, Masteros, you star.
What a beast. What an absolute beast. And, well, I'm sure there are a lot of teams that might be hoping for someone. You know, offlaners, we've seen across a bunch of different teams. We've seen some great performances, but we've seen some questionable ones as well. And if I was looking to build a team, he would be near the top of my list if I had to choose any position 3 within the Southeast Asian region. And for damn good reason as well. No more anti-mage, please.
Yeah.
No more anti-mage.
I mean, I think I've got baited one too many times now. Like, I've said
You
it's-
baited me as well.
100%.
You made me go for Yangon
Honestly,
because
like, every time I see the AM Deucer matchup, I always forget that Deucer again just has this item timing. Like, this is a perfect example of how you use timings. Like, it's definitely just, you know, the catchword. Everyone uses timings. There's a big reason why, though, because it's such an easy way to explain Dota. But Deucer just comes online that much faster. You can team fight with 2 items. You get one. You take one fight, you go into Roche, and then with that advantage, you don't die a second time. Then all of a sudden, AM just has to start split pushing the map, and then you can't team fight. Like, on paper, it looks exceptional, but this hero, honestly, the matchup, I'd say, is so much more even than what it's ever been, really because of the talents as well. It just enables Deucer, like, level 15, that's it. There's really, if you're ahead in net worth and have one item advantage, I don't see how AM comes back in these games.
nope. Was always going to be a rough one for anti-mage, especially like I was highlighting during the draft. You have all of these things that Counterspell can't stop. You know, you can't stop a Fisher, you can't stop an Aether Remnant, you can't stop a Echo Slam, Enchant Totem, none of this, you know, so it just gives you that little extra window for set 0 to be in place. I thought his positioning was fantastic on the line to be able to catch out young PH whenever he even tried to go onto the back line. And yeah, without a BKB, nothing an Ember Spirit can do. Skille, unfortunately, was a little short on his BKB as well, and Lun, I was not about that item choice at all. So yeah, just lots of things going wrong for Yangon. Hopefully, they're able to rectify it when they do get pushed into the lower bracket. There, I believe they're going to be playing Polaris. Is that right?
Um, mm,
Let's
I'm
have a
not
look at
100% certain.
Liquipedia. I believe they
I
are.
think yeah, I think they should be. Yeah. Is it
So
updated?
tomorrow is Nigma Galaxy against Neon and
Oh,
Yangon versus Polaris. So on a
exciting.
little bit. I know it's only one uh series in the playoffs that we've seen, but they're on a little bit of a different trajectory again. You know, Polaris started quite high, they were slowly starting to drip low, but then towards the end, they certainly spiked back up against Army Geniuses and even their later games during the group stages. And then Yangon, they looked very impressive throughout the mid to later stages, but some of these choices just it didn't feel like they had the real thought behind them as to why it might be effective, you know, and their team play is quite good, but if you can't get to the stage where, you know, the team play is effective, sorry. If the strategy isn't there to let the team play be effective, then it's just not going to work out. And it felt like Motivate.Trust had their number in that aspect.
100%. I mean, you brought it up as well, that Masteros MVP, and I think he got way too much out of that. Like, the blink reveals, like, 3 blinks, 3 echoes were just team fight winning, legitimately, and that gave Ember no game. And as soon as we saw him buy back and die back and not get any kills, his game just evaporated. And we've seen through the groups and the playoffs now that there has been a huge a huge reason of the spirits being picked up consistently, because you've got to jump the supports. You've got to get rid of the Lion. You've got to get rid of the Earthshaker. These are heroes that want to be surveying the fight and having spell casting be perfect, waiting for heroes to group up. And it was also just like, it's nice having someone who draws attention like a Medusa. You can't kill her unless everyone is on top of her. So it just sets up for Masteros to have an incredible jump. Or what you do is you avoid Medusa, and we see that quite often in a lot of games, but we don't have a BKB on Ember. You can't play Dota. There's just no way to do what you need to avoid the Ember, and everyone else is too far behind. You got a mobile Viper that didn't pay off. We don't see this hero a lot. I mean, they tried things here for Yangon. They again, Venge game 1 didn't work, game 2 worked. Viper game 3, they were trying to make something work. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. But um,
I feel like they were taking a lot of fights at nighttime as well, which is not good for Yangon, just because, you know, you've got these heroes like the Lion, like the Earthshaker that want to be playing in that darkness, that want to be playing in the fog. It was already so hard for Yangon to get onto Motivate.Trust's side of the map, but that plus the ability to play inside the darkness, especially for someone like Masaros, where you can just instantly turn a team fight around prior to those BKBs being available, is just so game changing. So I like that Motivate was looking to play a lot more aggressive around those nighttime timings, and Yangon unfortunately just fell prey to it.
yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of the Yangon team. Like they definitely have
Oh yeah, me too.
won our hearts when we've been able to cast them. You know, I think a lot of people as well in that game too. Like they looked exceptional. Honestly, that was a really fun game to watch from them, and they're gonna have to make a hell of a run through the lower bracket though. And well, Motivate, they're gonna push on forward to 3rd place. They'll have a date with Boom in the upper bracket finals. We're still kind of stalling. We're not sure if there's an interview coming or not, and there will be. Oh, someone joined, someone left, so I'm still not certain if we're actually getting an interview or not. So we'll keep you guys updated. But how do you feel about tomorrow's series? Because we're back down to the low bracket for the pro series. We got Enigma Galaxy up against Neon. We'll start with that one. Thoughts on that?
Mm, hard to say, right? Because Enigma Galaxy just seemed quite outclassed by Boom today. And I'm a big fan of a lot of the players individually, but Boom, their overall strategy and being able to play around the key weaknesses of Enigma Galaxy's draft was just so effective that they never really got to play their own game of Dota. So that against Neon, who, you know, they were able to take the series against Execration, but it was in a 2-1 fashion, and we saw the weaknesses that, particularly around Mamang Dyer, unfortunately, where he wasn't able to really shine on his key heroes. So you know, they've got a good dedicated support network there with coaches, staff, and everyone else there at Enigma Galaxy. So I feel like there'll be plenty of draft and hero analysis being done to make sure that the game is as hard as possible for Obi Neon. And then we've kind of already gone over Yangon and Polaris. It feels like individual skill, can it and team fight potential, but can it beat strategy? And it really feels like, we talked to CML the other day, and he was telling us about they sat down, they had a long chat, and they figured out some of the issues that they were having during the group stages. And also, they're not playing quite as many tournaments at the same time, so they're actually able to get in some scrims and learn, as opposed to just showing it in a public setting.
Yeah, kind of just going through the motions here, and instead you're actually able to identify some of those issues. But we're going to close this one out. Looks like we'll have no interview for the end of the night, but for Danog and I, that's going to be it for us for the Pro Series. For us, we got Mike and John taking over the reins for the last remaining 3 days, I believe we got, of the playoffs. But
Yep.
we got some exceptional series coming up.
Oh, we do for sure. And we just want to say again, thank you for everyone for joining in. We love casting some C Dota, and hopefully we'll see you again real soon.
Hopefully. So from Danog and I, thank you all for the support, and hopefully we got more exciting series coming up shortly. We'll be in chat supporting everyone. Oh, hang on. Hang on.
Oh,
We're not done just yet.
bait,
We got
bait.
one. We're not baiting. Okay. Let's
Drag
go.
him
Let's
in.
go.
Drag
All
him.
right. All right. We'll drag him. You start with questions. All right. Bassaros. Hello there,
Wait,
good
but
sir. Congratulations on your.
He said wait. He said wait and left.
Man, why is a guy gonna do me like
Oh,
that?
the
I'm
double
not bringing
bait.
him in. He can chill.
Bring him in.
I can't
Do
do
it.
that. It's Bassaros. I can't do that. I can't ego him. All right, Bassaros,
Oh,
you there? All good?
yeah.
Awesome. How you feeling, mate, after the series victory? We'll start with that one.
Uh, yep. I'm fine. I mean, I'm feel like normally, not nothing special.
Nothing special, really. Even
Yeah.
after that performance, I thought you were really good on the Earthshaker. But do you mind, for people that are for people that are stuck in a bad lane like the one that you kind of had? It seemed like you were doing a lot of these little tricks, playing with the lane equilibrium, just for people to use in their pubs. Anything that you might want to tell them about playing Earthshaker into something like an anti-mage?
I think that's what I made my lane well, because uh I just play like with my feeling. I don't know how to tell anyone. It's like
By
we just
instinct, basically.
try to like feature and get the range, try to get last hit and something. Yeah, but this game is just like a perfect game for me. I mean, in the lane. That's why I
Right.
can stay alone at the bottom and I can get net worth and XP.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
thought you had a fantastic game. I said you were the MVP that time around. We've got, I believe you guys are in the upper division because of how you finished off last season with getting top 2 in the lower division.
Yep.
Are you guys excited for that? I mean, have you been scrimming against some of the other teams that you're likely to be facing up against?
Yep. We want to go the first major, because I think only have like T1 Fnatic and SMG that
Hmm.
strong. Yeah, and Boom and GX are still at the lower.
Right,
And
okay.
yeah, and I think we can go at the first DPC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like you guys are taking it very seriously. So it's great to see that opportunity presented for you. Did you have a question, Lockie?
So you just said Boomer at the lower. Are you saying you're do you feel like you're a bit stronger of a team compared to them at the moment?
Yep.
Straight up,
I,
yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yep, easy. Well, you're going to get the chance to show it because in a couple of days' time, or maybe 3, you'll be playing up against them in the upper bracket. Now, I don't want to put you off your game, but you did lose to them in the group stages. Do you feel like you understand what went wrong in that series, and or do you feel like you might have something else to show them when we come to the upper bracket final?
You mean with Boom, right?
Yeah.
I think at that match we could have win them, but we just made mistake at the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure about the next match because they changed player, right? They used Bushi as carry and
Are you
came as
afraid of
first five.
Mushikari? Are you afraid of playing against him as carry?
I think a little bit, but I think came post five is looks scary. Like I think he's good at post five.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the real thing you're worried about. So Mushi is nothing, Skem is everything, basically.
Yeah, I think.
Awesome.
I always like checking up on as well to see how your battle is going in regards to MMR with Fearless, who's on top at the moment.
What? Pardon?
Are you higher
Yeah.
MMR or is Fearless higher MMR right now?
Fearless higher MR.
Ah.
My MR is like fucked now and I keep losing my MR. I
Oh.
don't know why.
Well,
Yeah.
you keep
Maybe it's like tournament mode, like play tournament win but play pub lose.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, you'd rather get the tournament wins. Those are the ones that really matter. You're already on a really good team as well. It seems like you guys get along together quite nicely as well. So I'm happy to see you guys do well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Masros, for joining us. Any shout outs real quick to any of the fans?
Let's we will be the champion in this BTS Pro Series 9.
I love
All
to
right.
Let's cheer us.
hear it. The confidence. That's honestly,
very
that's
good.
what you need. That's number one thing. Mastros, I really appreciate you joining us for the interview. Thank you very much. And congratulations on your series victory. Also, good luck for the upcoming tournament as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Mastros. So, that's what you want. You want some confidence. Yeah, screw Mushi.
It's always great.
It's on Skem. Worried about the
on Skem.
5 Skem. Love that.
Yeah, and I'm sure he didn't say it in his shoutouts, but I'm sure he said, look, if there's any super high people, MMR people watching, if you run up into him in his pubs, just give him the win. He needs a few of those free pub wins just to get his mojo back, because I don't think his ego can take being underneath Fearless on the MMR boards for too long.
Well, like you said, he's happy to win, competitive games, and ranked. You can put it on the back burner. Maybe it might hurt the ego a little bit, but if you can get some dollars off the BTS Pro Series victory, then you're happy with that. And he's showing confidence in the team, looking exceptional well. So that's going to be another day. Second of playoffs now done and dusted. Again, Mike and John are going to be taking the reins for the remainder of the playoffs. For Danog and I, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm sure we'll see you guys shortly for some more casting up. But remember, same time tomorrow for some more BTS Pro Series 9 playoff action.
Sheesh.